Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my fiancée, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
What in the actual fuck is happening? Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is April 24th, 1998.
I will leave.
And we watched another episode of 90210. What? Now, I told you that I was going to use my regular voice for the first time on the show. Stop putting on that Yankee voice. And you said it was all right with you if I did that.
What is happening? Did you just hurt your face?
Yes. I hit my face with the microphone.
Okay, Redneck Bubba Joe.
What? Wow.
What?
Redneck Bubba Joe. Which had nothing to do with me hitting my face, but... you don't like that voice?
No.
It's a pretty good Southern. So that's like a Kentucky voice. Without different types of Southern voices.
There are. That's Georgia.
Yes, absolutely. And then if you want to do Texas, Texas is a little more like this. A little more kind of, it's a little harder, you know.
That sounds more like Florida.
Nah, this is Texas.
All
A
right.
little more, Florida's like, Florida. Welcome to the this is what do. I don't know. I don't know what the name of that. This is Orlando. We're here in Disney World in Orlando. Florida's got a weird, almost like a bayou kind of accent, kind of.
Yeah.
Texas it's hard. It's Southern accent, but it's a hard accent.
Sure.
They say words hard. It's a tough, kind of like strong palate accent.
Okay.
Now, not everybody. I mean, so you get a little, you get a little like Matthew McConaughey, you know. Anyway, go ahead.
All right.
I don't know why we're doing this.
Me either. I'm very confused, but it's okay. 90210.
90210.
So, Donna.
Straight shooter.
Yeah.
That's why I did the Southern accent. Because I'm a straight shooter, everybody.
Alrighty.
Go ahead. Donna what?
I don't know. Donna's like... Donna's like, I think, the main story in this episode.
Probably, yeah.
And...
I mean, Donna and, to a lesser degree, Steve.
Sure.
Steve's the most important story of the show.
Okay.
Of the episode.
But I'm trying to think about how to start with Donna. Like, she's still going back and forth between...
Every guy's trying to figure out how to start with Donna. This episode is full of a bunch of guys that can't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Agreed. But Cliff and David, that's what's happening with her.
Cliff and David at the same time.
She wishes.
She says, I'm going to lose my virginity in style.
She's going to do it right. So, okay, but Cliff is like completely ignoring her attempts to break up with him because she tells David she's going to.
Yeah, it starts, I know you're having a hard time remembering.
I am having a hard time.
It starts out with Donna talking to Kelly and being like, hey, can you recap the audience on what happened, off camera since last episode where you saw David with this chick and this episode? And she's like, I got you, Kelly. And then gives a thumbs up to the camera and says, so David says nothing happened between them. And Kelly's like, I believe him. And she's like, I want to believe him. And she's like, I'm glad you're giving David another chance. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to do, whatever. And so they have a conversation, her and David. And she's like, I'm going to talk to Cliff. And he's like, because he's like, look, if you're thinking about juggling both of us, that's not going to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I'm going to have a conversation with him. And he's like, about how you're going to fucking break up with him? About how you're done with him? And she's like, yeah. So
Yeah, she's very, like, non-committal, though. Yeah, not great. But then when she does try to talk to him, yeah, he's very pushy and just like, I'm not giving up. And
yeah, she's like, hey, so I'm going to break up with you. I want to be with David. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not giving up on you. I'll still fight for your love.
Yeah, whatever. He's kind of a freak.
I don't like that. Like, I guess there's something to be said for, like, going after the woman you love or whatever, but there's also something to be said for, like, respecting her wishes.
Right?
So, yeah, I don't know how to feel about all of this.
But in the meantime, though, like, I'm trying to remember, there's other things that happen.
There are other things that happen in the
between
episode.
this and the end with her parents.
Well, yeah.
But I can't remember anything. Oh, my God.
Oh, between her and David and her
Yeah.
and Cliff? So, she goes to talk to him at the marina, and he's like, oh, yeah, I met your mom and everything, and all that stuff, and he says the stuff about wanting to be with her and everything, and, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot that happens, really.
Okay. So, yeah, he's like, your mom invited me to brunch tomorrow, so you can't break up with me because we're having brunch with your parents in the morning.
See, the thing is she talks a lot about this to other people.
Yeah.
To Kelly and, like, Claire and stuff like that, and, like, we want to, I don't know what to do, and I don't know who to be with, kind of thing. But not a lot happens on camera, really.
But she goes to brunch with her family. She shows up very late because of what happens with Steve. So I guess we should talk about that.
Well, okay.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. What?
What was that? Did Scrappy Doo climb into your mouth for a second?
No, I just wanted to know what you wanted to say.
I was going to say we could just finish on a storyline without talking about why she's late.
Okay, so she's late, and they're having their brunch, and some little kid runs over.
But before this happens,
Oh, okay.
the dude says, the fire guy says,
Cliff.
all of a sudden, it's the exact same storyline as when they were dating before, and he left the show before. Because he left the show because he was taking a job in Louisiana or whatever to, like, do, like, Gulf Shore fire prevention or something like that. And he goes, that was a call from a prominent amusement park. Like, I guess we can't use the name. And she's like, I applied for this job as chief of security or chief of safety or something like that.
Chief safety officer.
Yeah, chief safety officer. And they are going to give me the job. And she's like, oh, in Orlando? Or, I mean, in Anaheim? Because that's where Disneyland is.
Right.
Which is close. And he's like, Orlando. So, no. So, he's like, but I would turn them down if I thought I had a chance with you. Just what he said before. And why, apparently, he left the job in Louisiana. This dude is just, like, fucking hopping from job to job and girl to girl. It's weird.
He's obsessed with her, though. Like, it's weird that he's willing to give up such a great job for this girl that he's not even dating.
You know how many good-looking girls live in Orlando, Florida?
No. How many?
Lots. You know how many good-looking girls visit Orlando, Florida?
1 million.
That's beach weather.
Right.
So, anyway, bikinis galore. So, anyway, he's like, I don't know what to do. And that's when the little kid runs up with a note.
Yeah.
And David's just standing there.
And the note
on
says,
a yacht he doesn't own.
And the note says, I love you. He's not on a yacht. He's on the dock.
Okay. And he holds up some champagne. And
What?
he's got a dish of caviar.
You're so silly.
Her mom's like, hey, you don't let somebody like fucking Cliff get away.
Yeah.
And the dad has to take charge.
He's like, we're going for a walk now.
Right. I love when he does that.
And Donna just like runs over and starts making out with David, which is hilarious.
She says to Cliff, she's like, take the job. Mm-hmm. I need to be with him. So they're together again.
So, yay. They should be. I like them together. I want them to get married. I'm tired of all this.
Sex.
Yeah, I'm tired
of
of
sex.
I'm tired of her being a virgin.
Yeah.
It's annoying. Like,
So's
move
Davis.
on.
Right, no kidding.
So yeah, I mean,
we
like,
are 7 seasons into this fucking show, and she's still
right?
a virgin.
It's a weird. Okay, so other storyline is Steve and Brandon.
Yep.
They're doing a 3-person basketball tournament.
Yeah.
It's weird. I've never heard of such a thing.
Oh, I've been in one.
Yeah.
I've actually been in 2.
Okay.
So, the Gus Macker tournament, that's probably the most popular one. There are several to hoop it up, and there are several different kinds. But the Gus Macker tournament is probably the biggest one. My friends Colin and Bill and I were on a 3-person basketball team where you basically, it's like a rec thing, and you just play other teams, and yeah, it's fun. We did ours in the parking lot of the Palace of Auburn Hills. They blocked out a huge area with a bunch of basketball courts that they put up, and that's where we played.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. We did quite well.
Well, they were practicing, and Steve and what was the other dude's name?
Dick,
yeah.
the one that was dating Claire for a little bit.
Yeah. So Steve and Dick get high. I thought Steve told Claire he wasn't going to be smoking anymore, but he smokes all the time.
You know what happens with those potheads. It's a gateway drug, dude.
And Brandon's pretty pissed. He's like, I don't care what you do in your free time, but this is not how we're going to prepare.
Look, Dick, we're not going to fucking... I want to win a basketball tournament, okay?
Right.
I get to win everything. I'm the fucking golden boy. Don't fuck this up for me, Dick.
Exactly. So, I'm trying to remember after that, it's like, I know they go to what?
That Donna seems to have some disease throughout this episode that darkens her hair from
Oh,
shade to
yeah.
shade.
It's weird. It does get darker by the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's been slowly darkening her hair since, like, last season.
Mm-hmm.
But to do it in stages throughout the episode.
It's weird.
Very weird. Okay, but at the Peach Pit.
The Peach Pit after dark, or
Yeah.
okay.
The night before their big game.
I kind of like seeing you fumble around for this shit.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. I'm an Italian tired.
I don't know. Dick's supposedly ordering a bunch of. What the fuck?
I don't know. Dick's got some busty woman on his lap.
Yeah, he's got a date and he's ordering a lot of lemonade. Is it supposed to be alcoholic?
I think so, yeah.
Because they're like, oh, that's not from lemonade. He's stoned. And I'm like, well, yeah, if it's actual lemonade, that doesn't make sense. But he seemed drunk to me.
Yeah, I think he was smoking pot and drinking alcohol in his lemonade.
But, everybody's a little concerned because they have their fucking game in the morning and he's getting wasted.
And someone says to, Tracy. Tracy says to Brandon, hey, you gonna, say something? He's like, no, I'm sick of being the narc.
Yeah.
Sick of being the fucking golden boy, so I'm not gonna say anything. Let him do whatever. And Steve's like, dude, come on, I'm gonna get you home safe and everything. And Dick's like, oh, dude, I just ran into this guy, this dealer I used to know. He's got something you can't miss. You got to try it. Everyone's got to do it once. And he's like, oh, what is it? And he's like, China Whites.
And Steve's like, that's heroin.
It's kind of heroin. So people, it's heroin's derived from. I'm going to give you a quick drug lesson.
Okay.
Everybody. Heroin's derived from the opium plant.
Gather around, children.
From the poppy plant, right? The same thing as opium. Now, good powder, good heroin powder has a almost brownish kind of color. It's darker, right? China White's very white, as the name would imply. From that looks kind of like cocaine. It's more like heroin, but it's chemically derived. Heroin's a natural product. China White's chemically made, essentially, and it's fentanyl. Is what it is.
Okay.
And fentanyl is an analgesic. It's a sedative, depressant, like opium is or like heroin is. And it has very similar effects to heroin, but it's artificial instead of natural. It's essentially the biggest difference. But it's an opiate fentanyl mixture.
Okay. Well, they've never done this before.
Yeah,
and
real smart to like just fucking do heroin for never done any heroin before, but I'm just gonna fucking snort a line of China White. Doesn't matter how pure it is.
Steve says, I'm not putting anything in my arm, and he's like, no, we snort it.
So Steve's like, okay, save me some.
Yeah, like what the fuck? What is happening to Steve?
Steve's fucking disintegrating before our eyes.
It's insanity. So this dude goes off to the bathroom, and Steve's supposed to, go meet him to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And
time passes.
The girl that he's, with is like pissed off waiting for him. She's like,
if she's fucking smoking in that bathroom again, tell him I'm out of here. I'm fucking done. I'm so sick of this shit.
So Steve's like, I'm going to go get him.
Yeah, don't worry. He wants to do some of the fucking China White.
He goes in there and finds him on the floor.
Yeah, in the bathroom stall on the floor. Fucking bloody nose. It's Pulp Fiction all over again.
Right. Yeah, and he says, I don't want to die.
It's actually pretty powerful.
And then
we're making fun of it, but it's actually a pretty decently powerful scene.
Yeah. And the next thing you know, they're doing CPR because, he died.
Yeah, Cliff's trying to do CPR, and he says, like, they take him out in the ambulance and everything, and the girlfriend's like, why can't I go with him? And she's all, like, tearing her eyes out. And Donna's like, what do you think? And he's like, fuck. He's like, they're going through the motions. He's dead.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, not even finished college.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. His life's finished now, though.
Right.
22 years old, they said. But yeah, so he's done. Dick's done. And the police show up, obviously. Call them, and they're like,
this is ridiculous.
Fucking Valerie and David, you guys own this club, so come with us, because, you might be fucking selling drugs.
Like, what is up with that? That doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe that's standard practice. I don't know. I really don't. But it might be standard practice to question the owners and say, hey, But they get a lawyer. They talk to the police with the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, it's fine. You answered all their questions. They're not going to press charges. He's like, you want to make sure that you increase security, though, so that something like this doesn't happen again.
Right.
But, yeah, there's no evidence you guys were being negligent or anything, because anybody could bring anything into a club like that. He's like, so, and that might be standard procedure for them to question, make sure, because they want to know who sold the drugs, I'm sure.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole thing bothered me, but so that's what David spent the night doing.
Yeah, it bothers me that fucking Donna's mom and some other people are like, oh, yeah, I heard, fucking dealing drugs out of the peach pit or whatever. And she's like, yeah, you think fucking Nat was in on it too? You dumb whore.
Yeah, that was kind of good. So other things that happened in this episode I think are pretty dumb, which is Claire and Kelly go on vacation together.
Some other guys that can't take no for an answer.
Yeah,
These two dudes at a spa.
They go to this spa, and some Swedish,
it's Ukrainian, not
Ukrainian,
Swedish.
Okay.
Ukrainian dance team, like a folk dancing troupe.
Yeah. So there's this folk dancers there, and these guys are hitting on Kelly and Claire. And
can I ask a question, though?
Sure.
Before you finish that sentence? It's normal to me for Claire and Kelly to go to this spa together.
Okay.
You'd go to an overnight spa with a girlfriend, I'm sure, right?
Sure, I would.
It's weird to me that two dudes are sharing a room and going to a overnight spa together. What the fuck are these two guys? That's something you might do with a girlfriend. You might go with a girlfriend, but why are two single guys just fucking hanging out at the spa? It's weird.
Well, I mean, it seems like they're there to pick up girls.
I guess, but I don't know. They don't seem accomplished enough to pull off the let's pick up girls at a spa where they're already relaxed and having fun.
It seems kind of like, the guy that joins home ec to meet girls. It's like, oh, where are there girls here? Let's go here.
Right. I'm going where the women are. That makes sense, I guess. But he comes up and he's like, hey, you guys happen to be part of the Ukrainian folk dancing team? And Claire's like, yeah, we are. You know, like, and he's like, oh, fuck, I thought that was just a good line.
So stupid. Like, just say no and we're not interested.
Yeah, I've got a boyfriend who does a lot of drugs. And who might be in a moral quandary this week.
Right.
But yeah, instead they're just gonna fucking play with him, I guess.
Well, and Kelly earlier in the episode said that, you know, she wanted to reinvent herself. She actually says, 2 years ago I was in a cult at this time. Mm-hmm. Last year I was in rehab at this time. Right. Like, she really has been through a lot.
Yeah, Kelly's like, for some reason the producers choose February to have my character go through stuff, leading up to season finales, but I can't ever be hugely important parts of season finales unless I'm telling Dylan and Brandon that I want to choose me.
Right. So, yeah, so that's why she's there. And Claire's like, I heard you wanted to reinvent yourself, so that's why, you know, we're pretending to do this. Like, it's just stupid. And Kelly's like, I can't even do this accent, which she can't.
She cannot at all.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's what, like, Claire's been, like, traveling her whole life. She's more suited to pretending to be from somewhere else.
Right. It's so funny, too, because eventually Kelly does have to use the accent, and the guys don't, like, seem to, like, the power of boners really lets you get through anything, I guess.
But they end up getting a call, you know, that this dude died.
Yeah, Dick.
And they drop the accent because, you know, they're upset and they're focused on that. And these guys are like, oh, my God, the liars.
Fuck? And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, one of my friends just died of a drug overdose. And he's like, yeah, like, we're going to believe anything you say. And then they leave. And it's like you said, it's just dumb. It means nothing. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Who cares if these guys are mad? Like, they looked upset about it. Like, just let them go.
Yeah, they kept trying to insert themselves even after they had said several times, no, we're not going to hang out with you.
True.
Because they won't take no for an answer.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody in this episode would take no for an answer.
Yeah, Steve won't take no for an answer about drugs.
So Claire, you know, is back. Then
the Grim Reaper wouldn't take no for an answer.
Right.
I don't want to die. Sorry, Dick.
But I mean, she runs back to be with Steve, which she should. But then he won't even fucking answer the phone for her.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't call her.
He's just hiding in his room. And Brandon catches him about to smoke a joint.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I need something to help me. I'm in so much pain.
He was so young.
I mean, I feel bad for Steve, don't get me wrong, but it's like, how is that an appropriate response to what happened?
Yeah, it's not. He does some good acting in this episode, though.
He does. Yeah, they find...
It's like, it could have been me and all that shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's true. You were next up.
It totally could have been him. And that could always be to anybody, though. I mean, like, even people who do it a lot, but I mean, especially a first time, like...
Oh, yeah. First time is almost the most dangerous always.
So, not a great idea. And then they find, like, this memorial outside the Peach Pit after dark, and Steve gets very upset because somebody put a pipe there.
A bong, yeah.
A bong, okay.
As he calls it, a pot pipe, which I have never heard anyone refer to it as a pot pipe.
I don't think the writers know very much.
Look at this pretty
drugs.
pot pipe.
So he throws it and smashes it and tells everybody, you know, his last words were, I don't want to die.
This is an appeal directly to the youth watching the show, where it's like, I almost feel like they made a deal with, I don't know, the moral majority or whatever, that's like, hey, don't say anything about this movie. We'll make one, or this TV show. We'll make one of the characters a virgin, and we'll preach at teens about drugs and alcohol occasionally. And they're like, all right. But he does. It's like an appeal directly to the camera, where he's like, don't glorify this shit. You know, anytime you think about drugs, remember this guy's last words. He didn't want to die. He was 22, wasted his life, all this stuff. And I mean, all this stuff's true. And you shouldn't do hardcore drugs like that. But it does get a little preachy.
It does. It does. But it's very sad. And, I mean, that's the whole episode.
You think so?
Am I missing something?
I'm trying to think. I don't
think I am.
I don't think so.
You were so ready to be like, oh, yeah, because I usually am missing something. That is true.
mean, there is the funny part where Donna's like, "Hey, not Cliff. Hey, Nat, I need to talk to you."
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Oh, is it about David?" Yeah, he's kind of. And she sees Cliff, and she's like, "Oh, see you later, Nat." And he's like, "Wow, nice talk."
Right.
But there was something else I thought. Valerie doesn't really have anything going on. Oh, yes, she does. That was the other thing.
Okay.
I was thinking it when you were talking.
What?
Because I barely listen to you when you talk. I usually think of other things to talk about. Some magazine is fucking following Valerie around.
Oh yeah.
The 50 coolest people in LA that you've never heard of. Which seems like a weird list.
Yeah.
They're running out of ideas.
But yeah, she
Meet
gets
Doug.
she gets to be on the list because she's about to graduate and she's been running a club for 3 years. That is impressive.
It is definitely impressive. But then the overdose happens in her club, and they're taking fucking pictures of the body and shit and everything, and it's like, it reminded me, I guess, a little bit of the River Phoenix thing.
Okay.
When River Phoenix overdosed on heroin and died outside the Viper Room. I don't know if that's what they're trying to. I don't know if that's part of what they're commenting on or not. But Valerie's like, "You're not thinking about using those pictures," and she's like, "I'm a journalist. I write for a fucking fashion mag."
Yeah, she's like, "Of course I'm using these pictures.
I'm using them in my sexual escapades later."
Ew, gross.
She's a necrophiliac.
The fuck?
That's a backstory I've created for that character.
Oh my god.
So I also don't know what the point of that was. Like, if maybe they'll do something with it next episode.
Yeah,
or whatever.
probably. They'll probably bring it back.
But yeah, that is the episode this week.
Okay, so you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yep.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
All right, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.